Nearpod is software that allows you to make presentations, but does it with activities and interactivity that makes sessions that you're delivering online much more interesting to the students. So the way that you open the system is you go to this website, nearpod.com, and then the first time you use it, you're going to press sign up for free. And you can either sign up with Google account, which we use at WCG, or if you're using something else, you can sign up with Office 365. And if you've got neither of those two, you can put your details in and sign up with your email address. Now, just to say that students don't need an account, and we'll see the options that students use in a little while. So because I've already got an account, I'm just going to press login and then log in with Google. Now, to create a lesson, you can press the Create button, and you can actually create the lesson directly on Nearpod. And we can do activities with video, but because I want to use this with some existing slides that I've got, I'm going to use this option, Google Slides. When I press that, it actually opens up my account and then opens a Google Slides presentation. And so it's telling us when it opens how it works. So we need to install an add-on the first time you use it. You click on add-ons and you say get add-ons. And then you're going to type Nearpod into this box and press enter. And one of the things that will come up is this one, Nearpod. And all you do is you click it and it will then install. Once it's installed, up at the top here on add-ons, you will have Nearpod and you can press open Nearpod. And if I do that, a little bar by the side comes up and it will enable me to use the tools that are built into the Nearpod system. So it doesn't matter if you're using Google Slides or you're not using Google Slides, these are the tools that you'll be able to use. So I don't want this slide anymore, so I'm going to create a new one. I just press the little plus button, add a title for my presentation and delete that one. So I'll call it Nearpod lesson. And if I want to, I can just create as many normal slides as I want to have. So we might put in the outcomes. And then perhaps we might want to check on some learning from a previous lesson. So on the right-hand side here, we've got this collaborative board. We press that. All the options will come up and we can create a topic, and perhaps we'll talk about fast food from last. Okay, so we can put a message on there and then we can choose the style. So the corkboard's the default one, perhaps we'll have blue or a blackboard. I like that one, so let's choose that. Press save. And then it'll take a few seconds to make it. With Nearpod, you do have to be a little bit patient when it's creating the slides because it is doing a lot of work and it's creating the interactivity for you. So the collaborative board, we will see how that works in a moment. Let's do some other exercises. You've got one called Draw It, which enables you to do drawings with the students. Now, you can actually put some instructions in. Please draw a heart diagram. And we can choose some media as well if you want to. You can put images in. Let's put a heart in there. Choose that one. Now also with these you can set timers, so if we add a timer we can set that for a minute and then it will give the students a countdown while they're doing it. You can also put background images on and other things. Okay, so very quickly we're able to add these resources. Some of them are collaborative, like the collaborative board. Draw It isn't so much, but that means that you're doing another activity with the students that's a little bit different. Field Trip is quite nice. It's got some 360-degree views. Flipgrid is a separate system that you can bring in. Fill in the blanks, matching pairs. You can do memory tests. Nearpod 3D, yeah, that's where you can have 3D sort of tours of places. It's all built onto the system. You do have things like PDF viewers, and that's so that you can deliver things at the same time to the students. Now, where we come to polls and quizzes, a poll is just a way of polling your students, and there's no right or wrong answer. Quiz is the same, but with this, you can provide a right or wrong answer. So let's press quiz. And you'll see here that we can put in a question. So add some additional answers. To the right answer, you just press that. It'll only let you do one right answer with this. If we want an additional question, we press add question, and then we can put in a bad spelling day here today. Right. Now we could add a timer to this, and we can add as many questions as we like, but I'm happy with those two. So we'll press save, and then that's created. If I just go down a little bit, you'll see that there's quite a few other options. Now there is a way to make quizzes more collaborative, which is this option called Time to Climb, because it introduces a competitiveness to the questions. So if I click on that, we can again put in our questions. That, and we just add another question. Okay. And we can add additional ones, but I'm happy there for the demonstration. So we'll press save. And these things are then all done for you. Now, the nice thing about this system is it also allows you to put in things like videos and web content. And rather than just a link, it will actually pull the player up, and so your students aren't distracted. So we've pressed on that video option. We can add videos in lots of different ways. You can even upload your own, and they've got lots of subjects on here already. But if I press YouTube, we could then put in week, load something up. Let's do that. Press save. And then it will put our video on. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can actually trim the video. So if you don't want the whole thing, you can set a start point and an end point. And you can even add other activities on top of your video with Nearpod. But for now, let's just press save. And then we'll add one other type of content, which is this web content. And all that web content is web pages. But it's quite useful because your students won't get distracted. So if I chose the BBC website there, we can test it, but I'm happy. So let's press save. As I said before, sometimes you do have to be a little bit patient with Nearpod, but it is very quick when you're delivering it. Okay, right, so we have all of our content added now. And you can see when I've been adding things, it's not always gone to the end, but you can drag your things around. So you just drag the slide where you want them to be. All right, so now to present this to students, we don't go to the present button up at the top right. What we must do is save and go to Nearpod. So I'm going to press that, and it will take us back now to our Nearpod session. Now it's just saving that, and while it's doing it, let me just show you one other one. You can deliver these sessions in a few different ways. Student paste means that you're just going to supply a link to the student and they can go on and they can watch the resources, they can do the quizzes and things at their own pace. So it's not all in collaboration as part of one lesson. That might work quite well for certain things. You can also do it as live participation, and this is the one we're going to do in a second. And this will allow you to work with the students and you'll see the results instantly as it's happening. There's also another one which is live participation and Zoom. So if you're a Zoom user, you can actually use that option because Nearpod doesn't do the talking to the students. So what you would do with Google Meet, with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams, that part isn't done by Nearpod. So what we would do in our college is we would use Google Meet to connect to the students, and then we deliver the materials using Nearpod rather than presenting the screen. Okay, so this lesson now is ready. So what I'm going to do is press live participation. And then this is what comes up. And students can join the session in a variety of ways. They don't need to have an account. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to join. And if I create another screen, I just go to my guest screen, this one's not logged in. So if I click and hold that to the right, just drag that. So now you can see the staff member on the left and the student on the right. So there's a few different ways of joining. You can email them, give them a link, put a link onto Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. What I'm going to do is just press link and copy that link. And then on my student, I'm going to paste that on and then press enter. There's another way. They can go to this website address and then type in the code. Okay, so when the student joins, it asks for their name. So we'll put in Sam, press join lesson. And so what they can see on the right-hand side is the same as what you can see, but you've got some controls. So you press the right-hand button, and it then takes them and shows them the slides. So the idea behind this is that you're presenting a lesson like maybe you normally would, but you're doing some interactivity as well. It doesn't have to be all interactivity. So I'll go to the next slide, and then this is where we had our collaborative board. So the collaborative board's asking, would you like to approve the student comments or not? So if you trust your students, you can just press no, and then the students can click on the bottom to share their thoughts. Then post. And they can also, as well as put in the text comments, they can also put pictures. So press the little picture button, and we might put in that and press post, and then that will go up as well. And they can just keep posting as much as they like. So that all goes up, and you can see from the teacher's side, they can see who put the comment on. The students can't see who put the comment on. All right. Now there is also a little timer button here, but if you're happy and you finish this, you just click on the right button and it's kept. Now you don't have to take screenshots or anything while this is going on, because everything the student does is recorded, and there's information reports and things for that, and I'll show you that later. So now I'm going to press the start activity on this draw a heart diagram. So it gives the students a countdown. And we can see there's a time limit. So please draw a heart diagram. So they have this. So then they get hold of their pens and their highlighters and things, and they just start drawing. And my diagram skills are terrible. So there we go. And then the highlighters and all the tools around there. Okay, so the teacher will be able to see everybody's diagram while they're drawing it. And so you get a live view. Now, when the student's happy, they can just press submit. And then it will tell us in a second that that is submitted. Okay, there you go, submitted. And if the screen was a little wider, you'd see the full diagram, but it will show you all the diagrams just there. Okay, so we're ready to move on. So you press the right-hand button. And now this is a quiz, and it will show us the students with the answers. There you go. So we've got Sam there. Normally you'd have lots more listed. So we'll do Friday for that. Press next for this there. We'll do that one incorrectly. And there you go. It's submitted. Now, it takes a few seconds, but you can see that the result comes up and you can see which students have got which answers right. In this case, it's green, or red incorrect. So it's a nice quick way. And then, of course, you can discuss these things with your students. So if I go right, this is the time to climb game. So this one is the same, really. It's asking questions, but it's adding a bit of competitiveness to it. So I can choose a different look. So maybe I'll do the space one. Press continue. There you go. So the students can choose a character. And then they press start. Now what you can't hear is that there is a little bit of music in the background for the students. So what happens is that you wait for all the players to connect and get ready, and then you press start. And then the students get a little countdown with some music, and then they answer the questions. And it tells them if they're right or wrong as they're answering it and how long they've taken to answer. So if I get one wrong, it'll show it in red, and then you get another chance. Okay. There you go. Now, because we've only got one student here, Sam came first. There you go. He's the top. So you can do a series of questions, and then you can add, you can have the students competing against each other for this. So I press the right-hand button again. It then comes up and says, the next slide contains video. Would you like to display on all devices? So yes, just press all devices. And now the students can play the video. All right. And so they can see it. Now this is good because a lot of conferencing systems don't allow you to share sound with the student from your computer. Some do, some don't. We happen to use one that doesn't, and so therefore when you need to play videos to people, it doesn't go particularly well. Even if your system does allow you to play sound over, sometimes the video is a little bit choppy, so it's best to play the video on the local device, which this allows you to do. And of course, if you remember when we designed this, we could cut the clip as well, so we could trim it to just the section we wanted. So once you're happy with that video, it's finished, you just press the right button again. And then what it does is it brings up the web page that we'd said earlier, and all they do is click to open the web page. It brings up a little pop-up. You'll notice that there's no back or forward buttons. They just get to see this page. So perhaps you want to show a web page, you want to show something from an awarding body, just put it up like that, and then the students won't get distracted. Now that's the end of our lesson. There's no more right button. So all that you do to close the session is you press Nearpod at the top, and then press end session. And it'll ask you if you want to end the session because the student's logged on. Just press yes, and then it will tell the student that they have been signed out. Right, so that session, it's all saved as you go along, and to see the reports from it, you just go to the session back in Nearpod, and then you press the three dots, and one of the options there is reports. And every time that you run this, it will bring up a separate report. So we can see here our session from 9:30 a.m. You can click that, and then it will give you an overview. You can click on each question, and it will tell you who got it right, who got it wrong. We've got the drawing exercise. You even get the little drawing. You can bring it up nice and big. You've got the collaborative board, time to climb, the interactive video. Yeah. So a nice little report there generated. You can also download it, and you can also share it with others. So that is the Nearpod system. If you ever want to go back to the start, you just press the Nearpod logo, and it will then take you back, and you can see all your lessons.